Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Trey, and let's talk about Thor because Chris Hemsworth teased like he does not want to deal with the nonsense that Taika Waititi and others is. So hey, I mean, let's talk about it, right? Because I had already said that it was a bad idea because he had stated that he doesn't want to work with some wacky directors or anymore. And it's just like, well, yeah, because you got these directors who clearly don't want to do the character correctly. And before I get into that, this goes back to what I was saying about Thor in general. Like, even if we're talking about Marvel or God of War or whatever and stuff like that, a lot of people, when they think of Thor, God of Thunder, they think of a burly, swole man with a hammer and that can command the thunders and skies. I don't look at Thor and be like, oh yeah, here's this jokey clown kind of character, or here's this fat as fucker as Thor. No, I don't. That's not what I see when I imagine Thor, God of Thunder. And I'm talking about in general. I'm talking about in general. And honestly, God of War and the MCU has failed us at Thor. They honestly have. Because they didn't give us Thor. They didn't give me especially if you're gonna make Thor this big deal of a character or anything. I expect Thor to be intimidating as a god. That's what I want, or whatever, and stuff like that. But before I get into all of that, Chris Hemsworth stated that I think it would have to be a drastic different version and tone. Everything just for my own sanity. Of course, right? And then he said, and then of course, Taika Waititi said that he doesn't know if he's even invited back. Which, of course, you're not going to be invited back. You fucked up Thor with Love and Thunder. I don't even know what y'all was thinking about that. And I understand Chris Hemsworth had to sign the contract or whatever. But sometimes as an actor, if you fundamentally disagree with this stuff or whatever, try to talk to Kevin Feige. Put a little bit more sway in that thing. Like, hey, I played Thor for a long time. I think I know this character a little bit more than crazy Taika Waititi. And I just don't think that, Thor should be doing this comedic moments. Like, he can have comedic moments, but he should be a serious character. I don't know why y'all think that people want to see their superheroes look like complete fucking jokes. They don't. Or even, not even just heroes, just manly figures in fiction as bitches or as the butt of the joke. Don't nobody want to see that. I didn't want to see it in Endgame. I didn't want to see it in Ragnarok. And I sure as hell didn't want to see it in Thor: Love and Thunder. And then if you do take Thor, you make him serious, but then you make him this pathetic drunk bastard, like you did with God of War Ragnarok. What the hell are y'all doing? It's like y'all can't find a medium in between Thor, and it's not that hard. We have plenty of stories, and I'm not even just talking about Marvel. Outside of that, there are plenty of stories of Thor that you could easily take to. And you choose not to. And I just don't understand that to me. And another thing too is people are shocked by the backlash that Thor: Love and Thunder got. But it's just like, again, this was from the same fool who said, I'll destroy your mythos in a heartbeat, baby. Like, Taika Waititi told y'all that he was going to destroy Thor, that they don't respect the lore, the history of these characters. And not only that, not only is they showing that they don't respect the lore, they don't even respect the people of Thor. Because think about it. Thor is a Scandinavian storytelling of a god, right? And Marvel, because the character is in public domain, anybody can make a Thor, right? So, what makes you think that people who probably are fans of Thor will want to see Thor like this? Yeah, of course, there are going to be some people, because a lot of people do not know about Norse mythology compared to Greek mythology. So there's expectation, just like people was not pleased with how not Hercules, but how Zeus was portrayed in Thor: Love and Thunder, especially compared to the Zeus that we had in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Like, there's a difference. People want to see gods be gods. I don't want the characters to be like us, because they're not us. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference. And I understand that sometimes you need to take the character in different ways or whatever, and that's understandable. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but at the same time, understand that this character is still a character that a man want. It's like a power fantasy, to be able to pick up the hammer and be the god of thunder, and destroy your enemies with a hammer that most people can't lift. Like, come on now, like that's pretty decent. That's pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like, go out there and look like I can command the world to, you know what I'm saying? Save the day or destroy it if I need to. But when it comes to this kind of stuff, you can see the disrespect, because it's tiring. It's tiring. I understand some people are like, oh no, it gets tiring. Trust me, this stuff gets tiring real fast, real soon. And that's the point. And I think that's what's been happening. That a lot of people are just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Chris also mentioned about directors. He said, I'm just at the point in my life where I'm meeting different directors, and people say, oh yeah, look, he's a mad genius. He's mad, but he's a genius, and he'll make a great film. And I'm like, is that who I want to spend my days with? 4 months, 5 months of shooting, and then you have you ain't got press and possible reshoots and so on. But you're not the mad type. One that is very aware of his energy and affects other, and how he has the power to make your day fantastic or shitty, and chooses for it to be a positive. The whole crew and everyone is in a better mood. It baffles me that some people in that position don't understand that. Exactly. But again, this is what y'all want. This is what Marvel wanted. This is what Hollywood wants. You don't want people who care about these characters, who want to try to tell a good story with these characters. You want somebody that doesn't have connections with it, who don't care about this stuff, who don't respect the lore, the mythos, the fans, the people, the history of some of these characters or stories. You want to do whatever you want to do because you think it's really good, because you think that's what people wanted. And at this point, a lot of people have told you they don't want this shit. I don't know how many times somebody got to tell you this, but don't nobody want this shit. And I'm just going to be honest with you. You fucked up the God Butcher storyline just so you can add in the Jane Foster Mighty Thor bullshit, and you made a complete mockery of both stories. Honestly, it was not a good look. It was not a good choice. I was already pissed off about Thor Ragnarok and how we didn't. Thor Ragnarok should have been a movie that changed the status quo of Thor. What I'm saying is, it should have been an in between. Like, for instance, Hercules: The Legendary Journey, Xena the Warrior Princess, and stuff like that. They deal with Greek gods and all that kind of stuff. They knew when it was time to be serious and when it was time to have comedic moments. But when the entire film is mostly full of comedic moments, like Thor Ragnarok was, like Love and Blunder, it's no excuse for that. It really isn't, especially when a title is called Ragnarok. It's like y'all forgot what the hell Ragnarok is. This should have been a time where we focus way more on the Norse mythology of the MCU and not just what the fuck. because honestly, it was what the fuck in that story, and there was no excuse. Like when you think about it, like because Dark World was such a downer, it was like, of course you need to make some kind of change. And then Thor Ragnarok was really it was way better than Dark World. But then when you go back and watch it, you're like, wow, they kind of did a little bit too much with it. And then you look at Thor from Infinity War, and that was the Thor that we wanted. You know what I'm saying? The powerful being. He goes through this journey. He loses everything, but he gains a new hammer and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? We got something like that, and then we get to Endgame, and he's fat as fuck, depressed, all that kind of nonsense, and it's not funny. It's not cute at all. He should have been shown the most angriest, the most powerfulest part of himself when when Thanos came back. That's all I'm saying. But it is what it is with that one. But let me also go into some storylines that I think could work for Thor. I mean, we can't do Ragnarok. We definitely can't do Ragnarok. But I think these two stories that I was thinking could definitely be a good ending for Chris Hemsworth as Thor. We can always do Mjolnir songs, which is by Walt Simonson. It was Thor issue 380, and it was 1987. And the storyline is basically a prophecy has foretold that Thor will meet his end battling the serpent Jormungandr. Of course, the god of thunder doesn't fear any prophecy, so he takes on Jormungandr anyway. Despite being weakened by a curse, Thor battles bravely. In the end, Jormungandr falls, but so does the god of thunder. Curiously, his armor lays on the ground empty. If you love epic battles, Mjolnir's song will be quickly one of those favorite Thor storylines, and that could be that could be a good way of ending Thor's battle, where he falls to Jormungandr. That could be something really cool. What was another? It was one more that I also had. I have to remember where I put it at. Where is that other storyline? I just had it. Okay, no. It was one storyline, and I just had it pulled up so I can read it to you guys. Oh, and well, this could be a good twofer. Whom the gods would destroy. So who the gods destroy was Thor versus Hercules. So in Thor issue 126 to 128. Is basically a follow-up to the Journey in the Mystery Annual, where the Greek hero Hercules makes his first appearance, and of course the rivalry seen from Massive Egos. So Hercules and Thor battles. So what could happen is this could be a battle between Thor and Hercules, and then it can end with Mjolnir's song, where after the battle between him and Hercules, because Hercules want revenge for whatever Thor did to his father and Thor Love and Thunder. They fight. But then some kind of whatever, something from Greek mythology, I guess I would say, let's bring in Hecate. She curses Thor and told him that his prophecy is to die against the giant serpent. They fight. Thor and Hercules team up. They defeat whatever enemy they need to defeat or whatever and stuff like that. While they're doing that, the Hecate releases Jormungandr, the world serpent or whatever, and knowing that no one else can defeat Jormungandr, Thor rises to the occasion, and takes out the giant world serpent. And that could be a conclusion for Chris Hemsworth to die a heroic death, saving people, and earning Hercules' respect. So kind of like Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice kind of thing. So you can do Thor versus Hercules, Dawn of Mjolnir or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Something like that, where it's a movie. It's a movie about Thor and Hercules. Their conflict. They clash. Then they end up teaming up to take on a foe. And Thor loses his life, which gives Hercules like, damn, this guy has been saving the world for such a long time. Now it's time for me to put my money where my mouth is and start helping and saving people as well. Do something like that. That would really be really cool. And that could be a great ending for Thor. And then even if you want to, you can also do this whole thing where in a 2007 run after Ragnarok or whatever, all of the Asgardians, after the destruction of everything, they've all been probably are in human vessels, and Thor had to wake them up. But because they're already there, I just think that it'll be a good closing out where, now New Asgard done moved over to Missouri, Oklahoma, or whatever and stuff like that. Thor's dead, quote unquote dead, or whatever and stuff like that. The Asgards are in peace. They live among Earth, sort of. And we'll see the first appearance of Dr. Donald Blake saving someone, right? I mean, helping somebody. Is like, this person, they need help, and it was like, oh, don't worry, we have one of the best doctors in hand. And then we see a guy holding the cane, and he was like, my name is Dr. Donald Blake. And then we look up, and it's like Chris Hemsworth, kind of like that, but he's no longer Thor, and he's like living his life finally in peace with the Asgardians community, but as Dr. Donald Blake. You know what I'm saying? That could be something. That could be a really cool ending. So he still dies, like Thor dies, but he gets reincarnated into this new Dr. Donald Blake. And that's how I would end the Thor franchise for Marvel, since you guys aren't going to recast anyway, no time soon. So that could be a good way of leading the character off, because what's been happening lately with Thor is unacceptable. It's unacceptable, and I've been saying that for a long time. Is that I want to see a manly, beefy Thor, beating people up. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see a sad drunk. I don't want to see a fat as fuck Thor. I don't want to see a sloppy Thor. I don't want to see comedic Thor. I want to see a Thor who is boastful about his achievements, but is also serious when you need him to be, and not a joke. That you know what I'm saying? I don't understand what the hell Marvel was doing. I don't understand what God of War was doing. I don't understand this need of subverting expectations towards these characters. It doesn't sit right with me, honestly. It's a terrible thing to do to these characters. And I think, Chris Hemsworth feels it. And, this is what you get when you have people who don't care about these characters. If I can come up with something real quick on the side, then I'm quite sure if they can hire the right people, a person who knows screenwriting or whatever, you can easily talk to somebody, and y'all can go back and forth or whatever and stuff like that and come up with a good script. But nobody wants to do that. Everybody wants to subvert expectations and make fans mad or whatever, and we're upsetting the right people. What? Okay. All right. Sure. But it is what it is. You guys, what you guys think, comments below, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.